Hi, welcome back to the Gabster channel. My name is Gabby. Have you ever tried running your entire stereo system on a battery power supply? This is exactly what we're doing here. I'm running all my stereo system, amplifier, preamp, DAC, everything on this Allpowers power supply. Has a 2 kilowatt battery. So this is not a slouch. It's got some tremendous amount of power built in there. It has a built-in inverter as well. It has multiple outlets, even in our V power outlets, so it can handle a lot of power. Now, running your system doesn't really require that much power. So yes, you can run it on a battery power. I've got everything here hooked up on my system, and it's only consuming 225 watts of power. And I've got some really serious stuff here. This is a Luxman big amplifier. We've got a preamplifier here that uses about probably, I think there's a dozen tubes in there. So we've got a DAC and a CD player and another DAC. So we've got a lot of things hooked up to this thing. And so yes, you can power it, and around this rate, you could probably run it for around 8 hours. So, which isn't bad. So that's pretty much an all day running on just battery. And the big thing, if you are gonna run your system on battery power, is just to make sure your power system has a true sine wave. Otherwise, you're going to wreck your system and cause some damage to your system. I verified this one, and you could see here it's got a very nice pure sine wave. It's not like some of them are kind of like a sine wave, or some of them are even a square wave, and there's a whole bunch of different ones, and they could have some noise in them. So not this one, it's running purely. It has a beautiful sine wave on it, so it can really handle running your stereo system on it. Otherwise, don't do anything like that, because you really want a true sine wave before you start anything. So this Allpowers power supply can do that. Now, what you can do with these as well, this is you can also charge it from your outlet, or you could charge it from a solar panel as well. It's actually, there's an option which I'll show you later, where I have actually some solar panels, and you can hook it up to this. So basically, you could run your system in a green way. Well, this is only consuming 228 watts right now. That doesn't mean that's all you need. Like, don't just get a battery that can only handle, say, 300 watts. That's one big. You always need a lot more than what you think. And also, it's been proven that if you have a power supply that can handle multiple times of what you need to draw from it, it's usually a much better system. Now, let's not beat around the bush here and just tell you straight out. So how did it sound after hooking up all my system on the battery power? The first thing I noticed is that the bass was quite more present. I was not expecting that, to be honest with you. I thought it's just, it's power. Why it's like this is it shouldn't really affect the bass, but it does. And maybe because the amplifier, and I've got this is a Luxman 900 M900U. It's got, like, I think at least 250 watts per channel, and so it's a very powerful amp. And when you need to draw a lot of power, it needs to be available right there. Now, that's based on all the filtering capacitors that are in there, so it's not just the power supply. But the moral of the story is the bass did improve quite a bit. It was way more pronounced, quite a bit more pronounced actually. I was not expecting that much. So if you have a system that's maybe lacking in bass, running it on a power supply like this may be an answer for you. But again, this is based on my system, my components, because this is truly dependent on all the particulars of your system. For example, your DAC may feel not in any way different in you running it on battery or not. And I have not tried individual components to see how would they run. But I think what I always have this dream of running my system on battery power for a couple of reasons, just to isolate it mostly from all the noisy electrical system that we have in our homes, and also disengage the ground from that system as well, because this battery is nowhere connected to the ground, because once you disconnect the powering cable out of it, it's in no way connected to any ground whatsoever. So you might want to think about either connecting it to ground or actually create your own ground to connect it to. But this is a decision you would have to make based on your local rules and laws and all that stuff. So yes, the bass was quite more pronounced. I didn't notice lots of other things change. There was some changes slightly in the mid-range a little bit, but it was hard because this is not something you can do like an A and B test, like click, click. You probably could, but you would have to have a very fast switching. Otherwise, you're gonna basically things are gonna shut down on you. I don't have such way to basically to do a quick A and B test. The best I could do is just unplug things, plug things again. By the time things power, you're looking about 20-30 seconds in between. But definitely the bass change, and I think attribute to having that immediate power that's already so close to your system. Now, this system is not just for running your stereo. Having a power supply, battery power supply like this will be very good for, the power outage. For example, power goes out, so it'll give you something to power this way. And or you want to run things on solar panel, you could take it with you camping, you could take it in your camper basically. This thing could run quite a few things. 2 kilowatts is quite a decent amount of power that you can use. So again, this is by Allpowers, and I'll put the price of it and I'll put a link in the description below. You can actually click on that link, and that actually also supports the channel. I cannot stress the importance of having a true sine wave. If you look here, this is connected right now live to the power supply. Make sure that it says true sine wave on it, and also make sure that someone have measured it and it says true. I've seen some that says true sine wave, and it's kind of a little bit wonky. It's not really a really good clean sine wave. So let's have a little closer look here at this system and see what we have here. So this is the R2500 model. So it has a maximum output of 2500 watts, and it can output 2 kilowatt hour basically battery. There are four AC outlets here. They're all protected, weather protected, and there is a camper outlet as well here. Also, there are 4 USB power supplies here, and there are 2 mini USB-C actually power as well. And here we have a 12 volt supply and another 12 volt with there's a cable for that as well. So you've got so you have so many different options for output here. There's definitely not lacking in this domain. The screen here tells you what's going on. So here we have 91% left on our battery. We're consuming 229 watts, so at 60 hertz cycle, and you're looking about 6 hours left on the battery right now. On my channel here, we like to take things apart to see exactly what's inside, what are we actually getting. So I'm just going to quickly show you how to take it apart. I've already had it slightly disassembled. On the side panels here, there's 6 screws on each. You just take those apart. So you take the side panels out, you pull the top out, and then you should have access to 4 screws here and 4 screws here. You take those apart. Then on the sides here, there's some little hidden screws hiding underneath a little rubber thing, and then the rest basically will pry open. So this should come out just like that. This side comes out completely, so you can take it completely out of the way. And the other side here, just because there's so many wires connected to it, you can basically just move it to the side. Now you can disconnect everything. I'm not going to do that. And then this thing just, it's like a little flap thing, just opens up and you have access to everything in here. So what do we have here? We have the board on top here is actually the charger and also the inverter. So it means it charges from your either solar or whether it's your outlet like 110 or 220. And then it will actually also invert, means when you're running on battery, it will convert your battery to, for example, 120 or 220, depending where you are. It's actually very well built. I'm actually kind of really nicely surprised to see how well built. The cables are all nice and very well shielded and really nicely tidied up, and everything is good. It's got a lot of safety feature in case for overheating and stuff like that. The fans are actually controlled by how hot things get when it's cold. They run very slow, and if you suck up a lot of juice out of it, it will heat up a bit, so the fans will kick in a little bit more. So everything is, like I said, it's perfectly nicely tidied up. Everything is solid. It's got a solid metal frame inside. This thing is heavy as heck, and this is not a light battery, but again, this is a big battery, and that explains all that. Opening the solar panels is fairly easy. It just opens up like a little book. And here you can see how you got 5 basically panels here. This is about 400 watts at peak when the sun is fully on it. So how would it work when you take it out, for example, camping, or you have an RV or anything like that? All these scenarios we're going to talk about. So we're going to try to see how this Allpowers battery, the 2 kilowatt battery, how would it handle in real-time environments? We're here in Canada, in British Columbia. It's a very low sun. This is the end of January, so we're talking low sun, very cold temperature. We're close to freezing temperatures here, around 0 Celsius, just above freezing, about 2-3 degrees Celsius. The sun is low, so it's not very high, and we are still managing to get about 270 watts from this 400 watt portable power solar panel. The reason it's nice to have a portable one, because you can take it everywhere you want. So this is a system that's not going to be fixed. You're going to take it, maybe power your stereo with it when you're at home, maybe take it camping when you're going camping, lend it to a friend on their camping trip, or when you have a power outage. Folding the solar panels are fairly easy, pretty much just like a little folding book. You just go one after the other and get you. Just put it in the bag here and you're good to go. So this Allpowers R2500 is a great option for using, let's say, powering your stereo, power outage, taking it somewhere, camping, using it for whatever you think a portable power can be used for. I'm going to put in the corner here about a video I made about testing different power supplies and testing the ripples on them. And in this corner here, I'm going to put a link about figuring out 5 different things that could affect the power in your house and how you can get the best power supply to your stereo. There'll be a speaker in the middle if you'd like to subscribe. My Patreon link is in the description below if you'd like to support the channel further. Hope to see you again. Take care.